Good morning and welcome to Weigh In. Today we've got our little special guest. We haven't had her on in a while. Say good morning, Miss Flair. Good morning. Since the time changed, instead of getting her up at 8, I get her up at 7. And so she's been up and wide awake. She was sitting over there just twisted around and looking. I thought, well, we'll just get you on out and let you sit over here with us. She likes it out here better than in that old tank anyway. So today we're doing weigh-in and we're going to check in with what I've been eating on low carb and Weight Watchers. Now, let's take a sip of coffee and get ready for the weigh-in, shall we? I'm pretty excited. Let me switch to that page before we talk about what I ate. So today I weighed in. Well, let's see. Last week was 322.8. I didn't write it down, but I remember it. 322.8. This week was 318 on the dot. Maybe it wasn't 322.8 because that math wouldn't work. It was something. Anyway, this week I weighed in at 318 on the money. That makes it a loss of 4.5 pounds and brings my total to 59.1. So close to 60. Never been this far, much less 60. So that was fully committed low carb Sunday through yesterday. Saturday was eat out day. We carved it up. We went to the fish camp, got us a plate, brought it home, had the french fries and the hush puppies. Yes, I did. Now, am I going to do that every week? No, because this week, David mentioned, we'll go over it on the menu tomorrow. David mentioned, could we not do like some meat and spaghetti sauce and cheese without the noodles in a dish? I'm like, well, yeah, we can do that. How about we put it over a spaghetti squash? So I'm gonna break out of my tradition of eating out on Saturday. Knock on wood, unless I'm just tired or something. Who knows what I get into? And cook instead of eating out. Anyway, we'll talk about that tomorrow. So that is my weigh-in for today. Now, let's talk about this low-carb business. I can tell you, I feel better. I am not as sluggish on the inside. I'm still sloth-like in my walking because that's my physical muscles and bones and all that. But inside, the way I feel, like in my blood, I don't know. I don't feel as sluggish. And it is coming through in my blood sugars. 2-3 times, let's see. There, it was a 55. I forgot to put it on the first one. A 65, a 95. Now this morning, for some reason, my fasting sugar was 140, and I don't know why, other than the fact that's what diabetes does, I guess. But I'll see the endocrinologist next week. He'll address all that. But I'm keeping it in this book because that man is going to say, how many calories are you eating? That's all he cares about. And I'm going to tell him how many calories I've been eating, at least for a week. He'll take it. So, on the 10th, which was, what's today, Wednesday? Monday the 10th, I had 24 of my 37 points, 1,771 calories, and 70 grams of carbs. And I told you I'm not shooting for any specific number of carbs. I know, like on keto, you can go down to, oh my gosh, like 20 or something. Some of y'all on keto, you know. And then, like what they recommend from the dietary whatever. You know, I tried to think of it last time. I couldn't think of it. Listen, I don't know if y'all just heard that thunder. The reason we're not on the porch is because we are getting a terrible, terrible storm, and then it started thundering. There's no way you could hear me over that rain out there. It is so hard and so loud, so I thought we would change it up and sitting over. And yes, I do still have my pumpkins hanging because it's pumpkin season, so I left them. Anyway, all the way up to like maybe recommended of 130, something like that. So I am somewhere in between, and I decided, at least for now, not to stick myself to a number, because it's hard enough giving up your favorite foods without that. The same way with like when you start Weight Watchers. I've said it before, other YouTubers have said it before, that when you start, just kind of pick one thing that you can work on. If that one thing is drinking water, then don't worry about anything else. Just eat your food and drink your water. If that one thing is tracking, then you don't need to worry about what you eat. Just focus on tracking. Now, if you can do it all at one time, that is wonderful. But if you're going from a drastic, you're having a drastic change, then just pick one thing. And so I'm just picking cutting the starches out and down, not pinning down a specific number. Now, what I ate that day, I'm going to tell you what I got for that 24 points and that 1,771 calories and that 70 carbs. Breakfast, I had 3 of my mini frittatas. I was eating 2, and then I got in there and I realized I had 12 of them, and that's going to be lasting longer than I want them to last, so they're so low in points and carbs. I just ate 3 of them, and then 2 pieces of my sausage. And then, well, I didn't put this above there, but early in the morning, whenever I got up, 1:30, something like that, I was so hungry. So I had that Too Good coconut yogurt, and that was to tide me over to breakfast. Then lunch, I had my stir fry and part of a salad because it froze. I did not realize that little refrigerator in there was so cold, but I started shaking it and put my dressing on there, and then I stuck my fork in there, and it was like crunch, and I'm like, I don't have nothing. It sounded like I was, you know, when it ices up outside and you crunch on that ice when you walk. That's what my salad sounded like. So I ate what I could, and I just left the rest. And then snack, I had a cup of grapes. Then I was snacky the rest of the day too. So this is different times. A Baby Bell Light, a Baby Bell Gouda, and some bread and butter pickles. And I'm not supposed to have those, but I had them left from Halloween, and they just stared at me. I opened up that refrigerator door, and them little pickles was sticking up, giving me the eye. So I counted them. Supper, I had 4 ounces of a 93% ground beef hamburger steak and 3/4 of a cup of the sauteed Swiss chard. I did not think David would like it. I got a little bit too much garlic in it. So next time, and there will be a next time, because I told him, I said, you're not going to like it. I know, you're not going to like it. I didn't think he would like it, because you chop up the stems and cook them first, and then you saute the green part. And he don't make me, let me take that back. He don't like the stems on collard greens, which they're a whole lot thicker. The stem on the Swiss chard was more kind of like a light celery texture. Collard green stems are tough. So even the mustard greens, I peel the stems off because he don't like the stems in greens. That's why I thought, even though I made it before and he don't remember, like, you're not going to like it. I said, but if you don't like it, just don't throw it away, because I'll eat it. And he was sitting over here, and he said, I like it, it's good. I'm like, you'd make it again? He goes, yeah. So, hey, we got Swiss chard for a vegetable. What do you know? Next time I'm going to try the rainbow kind. Just real pretty. The stems are like yellow and red. Oh yeah, I'm gonna try that next time if they have it. And so that's what I have. That's all I had for supper. And then late that night, oh, there was my blood sugar after that was 122. So it shouldn't have been that high, considering there was no more carbs than that. But then later on that night, I was just hungry, so I had one of those microwave pork rinds. Ooh, golly, that thing was salty. Listen, when you cut back on stuff, it really picks up your taste buds. But that's what I had to eat Monday. Now let's go over yesterday. Yesterday, I ate 21 of my 37 points. 1,351 calories. See how you can't gauge points and calories. You just can't. It just depends on what you eat. So you can't say, okay, 1 point counts for so many calories, because to me it's hard to gauge, like what in here was 0, what in here was points. I don't know. Anyway, so for breakfast I had my 3 mini frittatas and my 2 pieces of sausage. And lunch I just had a salad. I said I went in there to put something up. I don't know what I went in there. Oh, when I was getting my breakfast out, because I had that little mini fridge, the one that Holly and Kyle used when they lived here. I told David, I'm like, don't put that in the building, stick it in there in that room, because I'll use it for my prep, since we got this little bitty old Barbie mansion size refrigerator. Okay, so that abruptly ended because I had a National Weather Service severe weather alert for flash flooding that popped up on my screen, stopped my recording, beeped out loud, scared me to death. I swanny, if I didn't sit here and keep talking, went on about my business, and all of a sudden the screen goes down and it goes back to my home page, I'm like, if you tell me I've been sitting here this whole time without turning my camera on, I am going to scream. No, that weather service thing cut it off. So let's try this again. I don't even know where I stopped. I was talking about that refrigerator, I know. Did I say I had my salad? I think that's where we're going to pick up at. I had my salad for lunch, but I didn't have my stir fry because I wasn't feeling it. Now, I did have snacks again. I was feeling snacky again. But you can see it didn't affect my points or my calories. Baby Bell Light, a sugar-free Jell-O parfait, which is the kind with the cream in it. I had like 2 of those left from whenever I bought them. A cup and a half of almond milk, the unsweetened almond milk, because I love it. And then I had one of the cracker and peanut butter, the nut thins that I bought. I had 6 of those and a tablespoon of just regular old peanut butter. And I'm going to tell you, a tablespoon of peanut butter divided between them 6 crackers filled them up 100%. They were 100% coated crackers. It was shocking to me. I thought I'm gonna have to go for 2, but I started with the 1 tablespoon. You'd be surprised how far that 1 tablespoon would go. But I wrote down, in case you wanted to have that snack, to let you know that particular snack is 4 points and 11 carbs. So that's not bad in the scheme of things. Okay, then for supper I had 6 ounces of chicken breast, a cup of broccoli, and a 1/3 cup of lima beans. I'm going to tell you what. I was lamenting that little piddly bit of lima beans. I was like, honey, this little old dab of lima beans. I saved them to last because they was my favorite thing on the plate. Y'all do that? Whatever your favorite thing is, that's what you want, the last thing you want to taste. So that's what I wanted, was my lima beans. And then I had some grapes, a half a cup of grapes. And then I thought I was through, and I just got hungry, and I got a hankering for the popcorn. So I measured out 3 tablespoons of the kernels. That's how I point mine. I don't measure it in the cups or nothing like that, because I figure whatever points it is in the kernel, then it's still going to be the same points when it pops, I think. So that's how I have always measured it. So I did 3 tablespoons of the popcorn kernels, and like I said, that's 21 points, 1,351 calories, and 82 carbs. So that brings me up to today. I plan on having another good day today, and if you're doing this low carb with me, let me know how you're doing. If it's your weighing day, did you show anything? Because it might take your body time to catch up. Listen, I'm not counting my chickens before they're hatched. I got 4.5 pounds this week. Whew, I'm gonna get another 4.5 next week, because our bodies are fickle and we can't overanalyze it to death. Sometimes we just have to roll our eyes and then just go on about it. So today I feel very happy that my efforts did show up on the scale. And So I guess that's all we know for this week for our weigh-in and what I ate on the Low Carb WW. I will see you tomorrow. This is Thursday, correct? Yes, I will see you tomorrow on my menu plan. Now, let me tell you up front, I have worked hard on that menu plan. Way much harder than before because, you know, I never point my food out before I make it. I just don't. This time, I sat back there. I made sure every recipe, because I'm trying several new things. I'm gonna be busy cooking for y'all next week. I'm gonna have to eat my Wheaties. Nope, I can't eat Wheaties. And coffee don't do it. Listen, I was telling David, we were talking about, he's a truck driver and I drink coffee and he don't. If you ever see him with a cup of coffee, then he's about to fall over from exhaustion. He just does not drink coffee. Well, I'm gonna tell you what he did too. He had me cracking up. But I told him, I'm like, coffee don't do nothing for me. I will make me a cup of coffee and go over and sit on that chair and fall asleep in the middle of it. And then wake up and have to drink it, the rest of it cold. Listen, when I used to work, I worked in offices. One of my favorite treats, y'all think this is crazy. One of my favorite treats was when I didn't finish my coffee off. I had like a, I still have it actually, travel mug that was given to us by one of our vendors. If I had a little bit of coffee left in there, the next morning I would go in and finish off that ice cold coffee before I made my hot. So, listen, I'm not fancy, but I'm gonna tell you what David did. And any of y'all that are truck drivers, y'all understand the language. Not mouth language, trucking language. He said he just about got his front end tore off yesterday. He said, this little, I ain't gonna tell you the company because I ain't gonna slam them because it ain't the company, it's the driver behind the wheel. So he said the way, they're down there on the Atlanta Beltway. He said it is so tight, it is just unreal how tight they made those lanes. He said, and when you're there, he said, you got to, one truck swerves, he said, you better swerve with it. So he's going, I think he was like in the middle lane. There's a truck over here, and then this little cowboy, that's what he had to be, come flying past him, getting over, and he didn't even clear his front until he didn't clear David's front of his truck before he got over, and David had to hit the brakes. I'm like, okay, so will it show up? Because they have computers in their truck that will show everything. If them boys do anything, it shows up. He said, no, you have to hit 50 PSI on the brakes before it will show up and give them an alert, and they want to know why you have to hit your brakes. So he didn't have to hit it that hard, but he still had to hit it, or the guy would have took his front end off, and then there they would have been. So what he did is he hit them lights on bright, and he just kept them on bright. That is a trucker's equivalent of the bird. So when they hit that bright light and leave it on, the trucker in front of you knows, okay, you messed up, dude. You need to learn how to drive. So he said he'll hit him. I ain't gonna tell you. Y'all think he's a terrible truck driver. He's a good truck driver. That's why he don't play. He just don't play. He is a careful, very conscientious, worries about everything when he's driving, truck driver. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. Back when he owned his own trucks, there at one point he had his own trucking company. He had that when we met, and he was working full time at the trucking company we worked at while he was building his business. So for the first how many ever years of our marriage, he quit that where we worked and just had his own trucks, right? Well, don't fall. He didn't drive them, and then when he quit, he eventually ended up driving one because he loves driving a truck. And so, what was I telling you? For serious, what was I telling you? Something about, when he was getting out of the business, that's when the fuel prices went through the roof, and it was, I mean, we were losing our shirts. We were just losing our shirts. And it's a good thing he got out when he did, because one of the companies he was leased to just folded. They just shut the door. He made more money off of them than any other company he worked leased with. I can't get it out. And then one day they just shut the doors, and he would have been SOL. You know what I mean? So anyway, he was selling his last truck, the one he was driving. We put it on eBay Motors. These boys come up from, I don't know where they come up from, come to buy that truck. Well, before they bought it, they wanted to take it for a test run. So they go down the road. David got home. They bought it. David said, the way that boy was driving, he told him, he said, pull over and get out of my truck. He said, you're not driving it no more. So he made the boy pull. He was buying it. He made the boy pull over, and David drove it back home. He said he hadn't bought it yet, and he wasn't tearing up my truck. So he is very, and he's very, they would have him run team trucks sometime. He was like a, they do bids every 6 months, and seniority tells you, you know, who you can bump and who you can't. And when he was still pretty low on the seniority, Flair, you're sliding, girl. You're sliding, sister. Come on. You're sliding. Oh, get my brassiere out of the way. So several times he had to be like vacation man, and he would fill in, right? Well, they'd put him in the team truck. He hated the team truck, because what they do is one person drives down while that one's sleeping, and then they switch off and that one sleeps and the other one drives back. That way they can make one run and no layovers, right? There are certain people he would not ride with. He will not ride with just anybody, because he's just so particular about how somebody should drive a truck. So anyway, I don't know why I told y'all all that. It just made me something made me think of it anyway. So that's what you get today. I guess I'm through now. Okay, can you tell? Girl trying to strip me down. Come here. Come here, sister. Look, tell him goodbye. Goodbye. That's my baby. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.